Ifemade, should I pay off my debt first or should I build an emergency fund first? I would say do both, right? And here's what I mean. If you decide to, target paying off your debt alone, right? Something might come up like an emergency, and then you probably have to borrow again to solve that emergency and end up increasing your debt. So here's what I'll suggest. If you have 100%, maybe out of your income, you say, I have 100,000 naira and I want to split this between paying off my debt and building an emergency fund. What I'll suggest is take 70% of that 100,000 naira and use it to target paying off your debt, and then use the remaining money to begin to build your emergency fund. If you have multiple debts that you have to pay, you can sit down with the people that you owe and come up with a payment plan that will allow you to be able to target those debts with 70% of the money you have saved, while you use the remaining 30% to build your emergency fund. That way, if an emergency does come up, you already have some money set aside to be able to take care of those emergencies. Now, when you're done paying off that debt, now you have 100,000 that you can, focus on your emergency fund. But even at that, you need to know what an emergency fund is. It's basically 3 to 6 months of your living expenses put in maybe a high interest savings account or a mutual fund, somewhere where you can easily access it, because it is supposed to be accessible in case of emergencies. Now, this 100,000 naira, you can take 80% of it now and channel it into building your emergency fund, while 20% goes into other forms of investment. And there are many other forms of investment you can do even as a low income earner. So don't let anybody fool you to say you have to have millions to begin to invest. So now 80% goes into that emergency fund. Once your emergency fund is fully funded, that is, you now have 3 to 6 months of your living expenses in a high interest savings account or a mutual fund, then you can now use the entire 100% to build your investment. And you have to understand that you invest based on your available capital, your risk appetite, and your short, medium, or long-term goals, as the case may be.